Because the Dodgers pushed Shohei Ohtani's salary down the road, they only rank 5th in payroll, but they're fudging the numbers. The Dodgers spent over $1 billion just this year in free agency. Next closest in Major League Baseball was a little over $300,000. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves. This is the best team money can buy, right? Now, the Dodgers have rewarded their fans, though. They do almost everything right. They've won the division 11 of 12 years. It's a gorgeous, beautiful stadium environment. They're patient. They lean heavy into analytics. Patient with their manager. Their R&D is incredible. They almost never make a bad trade. All their young guys come up and flourish. It is a really, really sharp organization. But there are two buts. But last 2 years, starting pitching can't stay healthy. Only one guy right now pitching in the playoffs was in their starting rotation to start the year. They can't keep people healthy, pitchers healthy. The second thing is, the second but, the Padres have become their primary rival, and they're really good. And they're young, and the Padres are cocky, and they're hungry, and they got more swag, and they're not the least bit intimidated by the Dodgers. The Dodgers are, let's be honest, they're classy. Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, veterans, they're classy. Padres are rebels. Profar's taunting the fans. Tatis doing hip thrusts and dancing in the outfield. Manny Machado apparently threw a baseball in the Dodgers dugout. They're rebels, and they don't care. And all they care is that San Diego loves them. It may be a short drive. It's a world apart, the Dodgers and the Padres. Through 3 games, one of these teams has an edge, and it's the Padres. They look at it. Now, for the record, I'm all for Major League Baseball having more personality. It's needed it for years. I grew up in the 70s, 80s. There was a ton of personality. It got muted, and the Padres are overflowing with personality, but they deliver but they produce. So they're good for baseball. The stadium's rocking in San Diego. The players are cocky, and they're hungry. And it works. I mean, and also I do believe this massive L.A. payroll has put some pressure on this team. I mean, the Dodgers are only hitting .216, and it feels like everybody's trying to get the big home run. All these high-priced guys, everybody's just swinging for the big home run, to be the hero. They're not stringing hits together. Forget the ERA, that's over 7. In fact, the only Dodger, the guy that's really hitting, Teoscar Hernandez, he's the only Dodger, right? 1-year contract. He's the hungry one. Comes from, I think, Seattle. He's trying to prove it. 1-year contract. He's the young, hungry one. He's the guy that, hey, I got to prove these guys are rich. They're great. They're Hall of Famers. But they don't have the edge of the Padres. The Padres are cocky and young, and they're rebels, and they're pushing back, and they don't care. And they clearly, in this series, have an edge. The Dodgers have had one big inning. They can't string hits together. You can blame the manager. That's what they do at the end of every Dodger season. But the truth is, this organization, one of their strengths, one of their many, is they have, cohesion and continuity. They're the opposite of the New York Jets. They're patient with their minor league prospects. They're patient when pitchers get hurt. They're patient with Dave Roberts. But right now, baseball is in the urgency season, and the Padres are playing with it. The Dodgers feel like this very expensive rocket, and on launch day every year, there's malfunctions and there's clouds. And the Padres are going 1,000 miles an hour with a chip on both shoulders. They don't care. They've got an edge. They're dancing. They're taunting Dodger fans. The series is not over by a long shot. But if you're watching it, there is no question. There is one team here playing very free, very loose, with an edge, with a chip, and having a lot of fun and feels no pressure. And that's down the 405 and the 5. That's not the Dodgers. That's the Padres. Okay, Aaron Rodgers' fingerprints are all over the Robert Saleh firing. I presume many of you who would turn in to watch or listen to a show like this read about it yesterday. Let's be very clear. This is Aaron Rodgers having his second coach fired. Now, I'm not going to bang on him for that because Magic Johnson got a coach fired. And John Elway got Dan Reeves fired. And Tom Brady got Bruce Arians moved upstairs. And LeBron, I don't have time for all the LeBron pushes out the door. I counted 3 this morning. There may be 6. Okay, so, and I love LeBron, so I'm not going to bang on Aaron for that. But what Aaron has become, and his whole brand now, is lack of trust. He doesn't trust the government. He doesn't trust Saleh. He doesn't trust the media. He's like alternative. He's become like very alternative. And I understand players wanting personality, but Elway was mainstream, and Brady and Manning and Mahomes. They play within a system. They sacrifice. They don't bury their coach at the podium. I'm all for personality. I get it. Gronk and Travis Kelce. But Gronk told you, Bill, get mad at me. And he laughed about it. Aaron doesn't laugh about that stuff. It's snark a mile long. He is not a conformist. He's anti-authority and proud of it. And I talked to Drew Brees about this yesterday. Like, you don't have to love your head coach. But time and time and time again, it's Aaron at the podium, firing back, making sure everybody knows he doesn't take the hit. Drew Brees had an intense coach in Sean Payton. You watched Payton screaming at Bo Nix this past weekend. I know Sean. I go to dinner with Sean. Sean's intense. But Drew says there's a way to handle the podium.
There's probably some things that Saleh said publicly that were better just to be kept, private. And then there were probably reactions from Aaron that he probably should have just eaten and said, hey, I'm going to go, face to face with the head coach and work out whatever it is. I would always take the approach as a player that if the coach said something that even if I didn't agree with, I'm not going to disagree with him. I'm not going to play that out in the media. I'm going to go talk to him one-on-one, man-to-man, player-coach, and come up with a solution.
Yeah, Aaron doesn't do that. Ever. Under any circumstances. He'll go passive-aggressive or direct, defend his territory, nonconformist. Elway, Brady, Manning, the all-time greats, better than Aaron, understood. You can have a personality, but it's a conformist league for coaches and quarterbacks. And I know Aaron doesn't believe anything in the media, but here's some cold, hard facts. I mean, he can do his own research, go on a Joe Rogan podcast and push back, but Aaron Rodgers since 2022, you can Google it, or maybe, they're corrupted too. Aaron's not very good. 2 different teams. Since 2022, he has an 88 passer rating. That's who Aaron is. Couple of games with 3 interceptions. 0 games throwing over 300 yards. Last 2 weeks, by the way, just the last 2 weeks, Aaron's had the lowest passer rating in the NFL. The nonconformist. It's not working. It's and this defensive coordinator, now head coach, former player, I'm going to go with Saleh's probably a better coach. Maybe not, but I'm sure you can dispute all this stuff on a podcast, but this is what Aaron's become. I'm not going to crush him for getting a coach fired. Elway did, Magic did, LeBron's done it several times. That's not what I'm going to do here. But what he's become is what I've been saying for the last 3 years. He's just not very good. He's not. Packers, Jets, there are the numbers. He's not very good. He's not as good as Kirk Cousins. That's indisputable. He's not as good as Dak. He's not. Look up the numbers. It's not like Dak's got a lot of weapons. Not like Dak's outside of CeeDee Lamb. What's Dak have? Kirk Cousins playing on another team with a bunch of kids. They're both better.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.